host of the Gridiron.
Finally, this sexy one, right? Thank goodness. Dexter Lawrence finally voted as an all-pro. Good for you, man. Good for you. Now, last year was kind of like, actually graded out even better last year than he did this year, right? And this year, the past 2 years. Now, because of course the Godfather came over, and once the Godfather came over, sexy started elevating his game. Right, so let's not, Mr. Patterson. Let's tip our cap to him, because ever since he's come over, Dexter Lawrence's game has gone to another level, without question. But it's about time. I mean, it's his third Pro Bowl in a row, right? But an all-pro, good for him. Good for him. Got a couple articles here. Defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence named to the Players All-Pro. The postseason honors continue to pile up for New York Giants defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence. Not all was lost for the New York Giants in the 2024 season. Defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence, who began this season looking to establish himself as one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league, following the retirement of future Hall of Famer Aaron Donald, should be without question first ballot Hall of Famer. Sexy was named to his Players All-Pro, his third Players All-Pro, following a league-wide vote. The NFL Players Association. The honors, first unveiled during the 2023 season, are based on votes by the players who select their peers representing the best at 23 different positions. Lawrence, who missed 5 games this season after suffering a dislocated elbow on November 28th, was still deemed eligible for voting consideration, earning the award for a third time since its inception. Lawrence, the second of 3 Giants first-round draft picks in 2019, finishes the team leader in sacks with 9, despite his extended absence. His sack total also ranks third among, now you go figure here, behind, it ranks third. Interior defensive lineman ranks third behind Leo the Lion, who had 11, and Zach Seiler of Miami, who had 10. Now, last time Leonard Williams had that double-digit sacks, it was a salary year for him, or not a salary, he was up for a new contract the following season. So I'm wondering if he's up for a new contract or not to get that many sacks. But once again, he had a phenomenal season. So good for you, Leonard. The 9 sacks represents a single-season high for Lawrence, who remarkably was able to rack up that total despite routinely seeing double-team blocks on the majority of the pass rushing snaps this season. Lawrence, the only Giant player voted to this year's Pro Bowl, finished his abbreviated season with 44 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 16 quarterback hits, 1 pass breakup, and a forced fumble. Lawrence, who set out to show the league that he was more than just a 2-down run stopper, now has 30 career sacks, which is good for 13th in the Giants franchise history, and ranks third among the team's defensive tackles. Lawrence became the Giants' first defensive lineman to make 3 consecutive Pro Bowls since Michael Strahan. He is also the franchise's first interior defensive lineman to earn 3 Pro Bowl selections since Rosie Greer. So we got to go back to the 50s and the 60s for that. And another article here, Dexter Lawrence named to the NFLPA Players All-Pro team. Let's see here. The NFLPA All-Pro team is voted on by the players themselves. We asked players across the league to select who had the most impact this season. The players were tasked with voting for the best player at their same position and positions they line up against. Lawrence may have spent the final month of the season on injury reserve as the result of a dislocated elbow, but his 12-game dominance cannot be ignored. He was the Giants' lone Pro Bowler. Lawrence was also the team's highest-graded player and the second highest-graded interior defensive lineman in football. The 2024 Associated Press All-Pro team is expected expected to be announced later this coming up week. But I said, what do we got here? Now, his first season, okay, he graded out at 76. This is just by PFF. That's all we're going by. His second season, he got a little bit better. He went to 79.7. Then in 2021, the last season with Judge, he graded at 68.6. So he took a little bit of a step backwards. Not quite possibly could have been where they were lining him up at. Who knows? But then once The Godfather came here, right, in 2022, he graded out at 91.6. 2023, 92.9. He almost graded out at 93 last season. Now, this past season, okay, he graded at 89.9. It was 0.1 underneath a 90. So, right? So this past season, but I mean, the past 3 years, he graded at 91.6, 92.9, and 89.9. So let's not forget, also, I said, with The Godfather being there, that's he's been a huge help to Sexy Dexy. So I'm very glad I'm glad the Vikings, he left the Vikings, he wound up coming here. Very, very glad for that.